You know, he was the lone voice on the libertarian side for so many years. He ran for the presidency of the United States, scaring the bejesus out of other more mainstream candidates. After a long career in the Congress of the United States, he decided to retire, to speak to young people around the country, kind of an extended tour of colleges, but he didn't leave before his son was elected to the Senate of the United States from the great state of Kentucky, now being spoken of as a candidate for the president next time around, President or Vice President Rand Paul. Former Congressman Ron Paul joins us. Hey, Congressman.
Good to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me, if I may, start with whether or not you agree with your son, Rand Paul, in Israel, suggesting to the Israelis and the world that, hey, the United States has to, start backing down or backing off on this foreign aid we give to Israel and the other nations, that if we're not fiscally or economically sound, we can't be giving money away. He said that in Israel to the Israelis. Wasn't that a sensitive thing, particularly given that the entire Paul family has kind of, over the years been kind of pasted with a broad brush, allegations of anti-Semitism and all the rest of it?
Yeah. Well, that's a position that I hold, and I haven't gone to Israel, so I can't compare what I do to what he's doing. But no, my position actually, he's probably more moderate than I am. He says, but mine is more dramatic. I just don't believe in foreign aid. I think it hurts us, hurts taxpayers here, hurts the security of our country, hurts the security of Israel. And the sooner we quit foreign aid on principle for everybody, the better off we will be. For instance, we give a lot more money to the Arab nations than we do to Israel, so I don't think it's in their best interest. But, our approach won't be exactly the same. I think positions are going to be very similar, and I think his tone is probably more politically acceptable, even though, as you point out, it's challenging, to say it. But, ideas are spread in different manners, and that's what I'm interested in doing. So
you applaud your son's speaking out in Israel?
Well, I accept what he's doing. I'm not critical of it. As I mentioned, I have not visited Israel, so I did not choose to do it that way. But everybody has their own technique on how to do things.
Were you a senator, as he is, would you vote for Chuck Hagel's confirmation as Secretary of Defense? Do you have the same misgivings that some of your congressional colleagues do about the former Nebraska senator?
Yeah, I think I would. I'll be surprised if he gets confirmed.
Really? Why?
Well, because the neoconservatives are coming down so hard on him, saying that he's anti-Israel, which I don't think he is at all. I think he does take a position that is similar to what I talk about. I mean, is it far from what I'm saying, but at least he's taking a more moderate approach to this. But I think just listen to Bill Kristol yesterday. He came down pretty hard on it.
No, on this program too last week, Bill Kristol, the well-known neoconservative commentator on Fox News Channel and the Weekly Standard, he ripped Chuck Hagel, basically accusing him of being an anti-Semite. I don't know. I thought the evidence was a little thin. I mean, Hagel did say something about a Jewish lobby rather than an Israeli lobby. But is there a Jewish lobby, Congressman Ron Paul?
Well, I don't think really that's the right word, but I give people passes on public figures, like all of us who have been in public, to maybe use one word, to maybe wanted to use another one. No, it's an Israeli issue. It's not called a Jewish PAC, So I don't put a whole lot of stress on emphasis on which words you use, but I don't think you should say that it's a Jewish lobby.
How about when he said that one candidate for ambassador was too overtly gay?
I don't know the details of that, and I think that's just a total distraction from what's going on now. I mean, when was that said? Good many years ago, and what
right.
it meant. I just don't think that should make or break his nomination. I think his position on Israel will be 99% of how or whether or not he gets nominated.
Do you think the president will fight for him in a way he did not fight for Susan Rice, for example?
Well, if he does, that'll be change. He doesn't seem to have been so far a fighter to defend his nominees, so I would be surprised, but maybe he will. If he doesn't, I think it's a negative for the president. But maybe under these circumstances he will, because I think it would serve his political interest to have him there. I think it would appease the progressive base of the Democratic Party. I think they're pretty annoyed with Obama. And to me, it seems like it's pretty reasonable to have somebody like this and not exclude him because he has a slightly different approach than Bill Kristol. That annoys me to think that Bill Kristol can make the difference on something like this.
So I'll next time Bill Kristol's on the air with me, I'm gonna say, you know what Congressman Ron Paul told me?
Oh, you wouldn't do that, would you? Now,
come on, that's my job,
nice.
Congressman.
I'm out of politics, and I'm the one that struggles not to personalize things. I want to talk about philosophy and foreign policy. And even over my many years, as much as I was annoyed with George Bush and Obama, I never said the president did this, Bush is Obama, and Obama's allowed. I never do that, so I don't like the personality thing. I like to stick with, even when people like you, Geraldo, would say, what are you going to say nasty about Bernanke? Usually I say it's not Bernanke, it's the system. It's the Federal Reserve System. It's not the individuals. So I've tried real hard to avoid, whether it's monetary policy or political things, that we deal with issues. And therefore, I don't like to get involved in personality fights, make or break the whole thing over Hegel the person. I want to deal with foreign policy. What should our foreign policy be? And why is our foreign policy dragged to this point? Because we can monetize debt. I mean, there's no problem. Have you noticed that there's been no discussion really whatsoever between Republicans and Democrats in this debate over the budget is to cut this military money? They both agree we got to put it back. We can only have we have to have a 20% increase in the military budget, and sequestration would make the increase only 18%. And both sides are nearly hysterical over that the increase won't be quite as big. That's what I want to talk about rather than the individuals. So you can tell that to Bill, too.
Well, I will. Congressman Ron Paul, I guess what you just said is why my son Gabriel, my 33-year-old, my oldest, loves you. I mean, he really thinks you cut through the BS in a way that many of your colleagues, your former colleagues, just don't. And the Hegel situation is one of them. Here's Hegel, a man who wounded twice in Vietnam, a guy who's seen the military from the enlisted man side and then up, and then he's going to be disqualified, as you suggest. He's going to have a very, very hard time because of a couple of misstatements, one about gays and the other about Jews. I think it's really unfortunate, but that's the way Washington works. That's why he quit, right?
Yeah, and the point that you make about him having served, have gone into did his best he could under those circumstances. But if you look back at some of these strongest advocates for almost perpetual war, quite frequently they're the ones who ducked the draft and got the deferments. And there's more than one of those have done that. They did their best not to ever be exposed, but they think it's okay to expose your son and others to maybe to the same set of circumstances. Yeah,
you were the only veteran running in that big Republican field last time.
Yeah, and they tried to paint the label on me that I was, not in favor of the military and not pro-American and this sort of thing. But turned out that I got more money from the military personnel than anybody else.
I know that was pretty wrong.
Yeah,
I got to ask you finally, and this is, and maybe it's unfair because it's I don't have a whole lot of time for the answer, but as a libertarian, as a Texan, as a doctor, and everything else that you are, Dr. Ron Paul, Congressman Ron Paul. What do you think about restrictions on assault weapons? What do you think about mandatory background checks? What do you think about the move now for gun control?
Well, I disagree with what they're doing because if they're looking for the weapons that cause damage, this statistic is rather startling about the FBI saying that more people get killed with hammers and knives. So, I mean, are they hysterical about that? But I'm also, this whole idea they play on these crises, a real tragedy when 25 kids get killed. But where were these people when children were killed, by our own government at Waco, did the Davidians? And who in this country even knows how many children die from our drone warfare? But, they're not people. They belong to families, and we don't like Arabs and we don't like Muslims. So they don't even care about this. So if they really cared about children and killing, they wouldn't say all we have to do is intrude on the right for you and I to have a gun in our house to defend ourselves. So, but there's a lot of people who support that position now, and Obama is becoming very aggressive with this, which I strongly disagree.
Congressman Ron Paul, Dr. Paul, thanks. It's always a pleasure having you on.
Thank you, Geraldo.
You're terrific. Thanks. You don't agree with the guy, but he's certainly consistent.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's amazing, straightforward guy. You love him or hate him. At least you know where he stands, and he's not
Doesn't hide.
I like the Hagel thing. Like I said about Hagel. Like Hagel should be up and down on whether or not the guy's going to run the Defense Department in a way that's effective for the United States military. Can he see the military through this new era of not unlimited budgets, where you have fiscal concerns, where the war situation is changing, the world is changing? That's the question, not whether or not he said something about some gay ambassador that he's apologized for, or the Jewish lobby instead of the Israeli lobby.
But that's who he's going to face. It's going to be the log cabin Republicans. It's going to be AIPAC, the Israeli lobby, and both those they're working hard as we speak to make sure that this is derailed somehow.
And they are formidable foes. I mean, they are really. Imagine them coming after you. I mean, I get it from the gun owners thing, but that's like nothing compared to the enemies that he's picked. I mean, you pick a fight with the Israelis, man.
Yeah,
Jewish lobby, the Israeli/Jewish lobby, whatever you call it.
They'll go after, say, hey, we're not going to support you when you're up for re-election if you vote in favor here.
And that's the least of it.
Yeah.
And they, it could be extremely intense. But it's interesting that Ron Paul suggests that Chuck Hagel is not going to make it.
Huh.
So what fireworks is that? Confirmation.
That means it's going to be really fun to watch this thing. That's really what it means.
We'll be right back.
Geraldo Rivera